Good evening, everybody. And just got the all clear that air raid alert has ended in Kiev just now. No, always like seeing the air raids stop. Now, if the rest of them would clear out. Um, Sorry, I was a little bit late starting. I was halfway through the news before I realized I did not hit the go live button, so a little embarrassing. Let me get everything reset here. Operational information as of 10 p.m. of October 17th, 2024. Day 968 of the full-scale invasion by Russia into Ukraine. ZCU says our soldiers continued to courageously defend Ukraine. Since the beginning of the day, the total number of combat clashes along the entire front line has increased to 191 attacks. The enemy has carried out 47 airstrikes using 83 air defense systems, glide bombs, more than 650 kamikaze drones, and carried out, I'm guessing this is supposed to be 3,250 artillery strikes on our troops and population centers. In the Kharkiv direction, there were seven combat clashes with the Russian invaders. 6 attacks were repulsed in the Staritsa area, and another battle is underway. Staritsa, where Russia's trying to come in again to push towards Kharkiv. They're talking about this area here. 6 combat clashes took place yesterday. In the Kupiansk direction, the enemy tried 16 times to dislodge our units from their positions. Golubivka, that one's a hard one to do. It's a G and a Lu, Golubivka. Stepova, Novoselivka, Kolinsnivka, Lavoza, Vishrona, and Nadia. 3 attacks are still ongoing. Of course, Kupiansk is this area here. And, Stepova, Thorninka, and, up along this line here. And down over here. They're still trying to reach the reservoir to try and cut this road. If they can cut this road, it really would be a detriment to Ukrainian resistance to the invasion. And they're trying hard for it. In the Lumansky direction, 21 times the enemy attacked. Tried to advance in the directions of Gorivka, Durahilubivka, Katerinivka, Novomykolaivka, Novosadavo, Novirsy, Torisky, Zerebryanki, Kremina, and Bilgorika. The battle continues near Novosadavo. Novosadovo, sorry, not Davo, Dovo. Now, Liman, what they're talking about is basically from this point up to about here. So, decent number of attacks are happening in this area. There's not a whole lot of advances being made. which is always a good thing. 8 combat clashes took place in Kramatorsk direction. Occupiers were active in the areas of Hirovka, Minkivka, Chasov Yar, and Ivanisk. 7 attempts by the enemy to improve their positions were stopped by Ukrainian soldiers, and combat continues near Chasov Yar. In Chasov Yar, Kramatorsk. Chasov Yar is kind of like the center of 2 advances that they are trying to do. Of course, they're trying to get to Kramatorsk, big hub for the region, but they need to get to Konstantinivka first, and Chasov Yar is in their way. The other way in, Toretsk, up these 2 roads here, and this as a 3rd road, maybe this way, and again, rail line right here. I'm not sure, but I think this is another rail line. I'll have to look at the other map. Well, let's go. Kharkiv. So yeah, it says there's 3 spurs of the rail line out of here. One goes basically directly towards Konstantinivka. The other one goes up north of Konstantinivka, and the 3rd line goes into Bakhmut. So they really wanted to secure these lines so they can cover their logistics. The enemy tried 6 times to penetrate our defenses in Toretsk, Naplivka, and Serebenivka. The occupiers were repulsed by our defenders. All attacks were repelled. And in Toretsk direction, Naplivka, and I don't see the other one offhand. Oh. So basically, Serebenivka, okay. So basically all the attacks were in this area. For cross direction, the aggressor carried out 45 assaults in the cross direction, most active in Sukabalka, Promin, Suryar, Novotorisky, Nikolaevka, Lusivka, and Selodov. In total, Ukrainian defenders have repelled 35 attacks. 10 more are ongoing. So, Sukabel. I hope that's not the right pronunciation. Suka Balka. That's the place that we're talking about, right? Yeah. Okay. So they're talking about from over here, basically over to here, for the cross direction. And 45 combat clashes took place in this area. Hey, Secular Sekai. According to currently available information, losses of the aggressor in this direction amounted to 365 casualties. 3 tanks, 1 armored combat vehicle, 1 radar station were destroyed. In addition, 1 tank, an APC, 2 BMPs, 1 enemy gun, and 3 cars were damaged. So some pretty high numbers coming out of Pokrovsk area. The enemy is intensively attacking the Ukrainian defenders in the Kharkiv direction. At this time of day, there are 45 combat clashes. The invaders remain highly active, trying to advance in the districts of Izmailivka, Novodonivka, Kharkova, Vernitsk, Antonivka, Konstantinivka, Zrany, Grostoy, Georgievka, Katerinivka, and Vodany. Units in the defense forces repelled 36 attacks, 9 are ongoing. The situation is difficult, but controlled by the defense forces. So, we were just talking about Pokrovsk. From basically Soledov over to here, there were 45 attacks along this front. Along this area, Vernivka, Izmailivka, Novosaladivka, there are 45 attacks in this area. So from this reservoir up to here, you're talking about 90 attacks. Almost half of the Russian attacks for the entire day are in this area. Hey there, Eric. I'm sorry, my throat's getting a little scratchy. I had to get a wetness. And it's Coke, Pepsi Zero. So, still trying to cut the sugars and lose weight. Be in better shape when I go back to Ukraine. So we talked about Kharkiv. Verminsky direction, 10 skirmishes took place. All assaults were stopped in the areas of Volodar and Levediny. The situation is controlled by the defense forces of Ukraine. Budimivka, but it covered, that front is basically this entire area here. In the Orhiv direction, one unsuccessful enemy attack was repulsed by our defenders during the day near Novodonivka. In the Dnieper directions, our soldiers repelled the attacks of... Excuse me one second. Okay, no more carbonated beverages while I'm streaming. I apologize about that. The Dnieper direction, Russian invaders attacked Ukrainian positions 5 times. Trying to control the map with my mouse keys. So basically in this area here, and Orkiv, they're basically talking from the rail line here over. There was one attack in this area, and then the Dnieper area they talk about is basically this line here. 5 attacks, in my assumption, and you know what they say about assumptions, but those 5 attacks were probably in this area. towards Ivanivka, trying to get a crossing point of the river. Just my guess. Nothing really out there to confirm that or not, but defense forces of Ukraine continue the operation in Kursk region. Enemy aviation continues to strike with guided aerial bombs on the territory of Russia. Currently, 24 airstrikes using 37 anti-aircraft missiles are known. When they say anti-aircraft missiles, they're talking about the glide bombs, the JDAMs and type ammunition. But they're using that on their own population, on their own villages and towns. We don't know where they're being used, but they're talking about defending their own land and using one of the most destructive bombs on the cities, towns, and infrastructure in their own country. They don't care about their own people. What do you think they're going to do to the Ukrainians when they get in there? They wanted to honor the soldiers of the 128th Separate Mountain Brigade, 35th Separate Marine Brigade, 38th Separate Marines, 46th Separate Air Mobile Brigade, 79th Separate Tavarian Assault Brigade. Should be celebrated today, which professionally restrained the attacks of the enemy's superior forces, causing significant losses. Now, keep up the good fight, guys. Glory to the Ukrainian soldiers and glory to Ukraine. When I started the stream, the air alert in Kyiv just dropped off. Kherson came. Air alert is active. Kivnograd is active. By active, I mean they just started 9 minutes ago, 16 minutes ago. Zaporizhia is like 25 minutes ago. So whatever's coming across is coming, east to west. Hi, Katie. Let's see. Telegram. See what Packet Telegram channel has to say. So Shaheeds from Vinnytsia to Cherkasy, Uman area. 6 Shaheeds from Kivnograd to Dnipro region. 5 Shaheeds from Chernihiv headed for Kyiv. 2 Shaheeds in Mykolaiv headed towards Chernograd. 1 Shaheed in Chernograd headed towards Poltava. So looks like it's mostly Shaheeds today, and I feel when I was in Ukraine, I didn't go to the shelter for Shaheeds. You could hear the Shaheeds coming, but they can sit there and loiter for hours. You look at the last alert in Kyiv, 3 hours and 25 minutes because there was a Shaheed over the city. 4 hours, 35 minutes. That's a long time to sit in a shelter. And the shelter at my apartment complex, or my apartment building, I couldn't get signal, so I didn't know anything was going on, if friends were trying to get a hold of me, if the air alert was over. So I kind of just ignored the Shaheeds and went on with life, unless I heard them. I should grab a water. And I guess that's kind of a cue I took from people I met in Ukraine. The Shaheeds, you hear them, you worry about them. If you don't hear them, just go on with your day. As opposed to like when there's actual missiles, it was only like 40 minutes, 35 minutes, 25 minutes. That might have just been like an aircraft taking off. But like the missile alerts don't last long, but the Shaheeds, they go for hours. And it's annoying. Go back to Telegram here.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні
announcement for
українці,
today.
українки. Сьогодні вже в Києві працюємо з результатами наших перемовин. Цієї зустрічі в Європі, розмови з нашими партнерами. Була розмова з президентом Байденом. Ми готуємось до зустрічі в Україні з американською командою. Політичні, військові представники. Раніше наші представники, начальник Генштабу і віце-прем'єр-міністр Стефанішина були у Вашингтоні. Міністр оборони України Умєров, міністр закордонних справ України Сибіга, головнокомандувач Сирський працюють зі своїми колегами в Європі. Розвиваємо наш план перемоги у спілкуванні з партнерами. Окремо триває робота щодо підготовки другого саміту миру, справжньої дипломатії. Нам потрібно закінчити війну так, щоб гарантувати безпеку та спокій українцям і всій Україні. Будуть відповідні зустрічі керівника Офісу Єрмака та прем'єр-міністра України Шмигаля. Я вдячний кожному лідеру, кожній державі, які сприйняли наші аргументи щодо безпеки та готові допомагати саме так, щоб направити наявну ситуацію курсом до миру. Сьогодні ж була доповідь головкома Сирського, це фронт, це наші напрямки, це і Курська операція. Захищаємо наші позиції. Була нарада щодо роботи залізниці в Україні. Я вдячний усім, хто працює в компанії. Укрзалізниця дійсно багато в чому тримає на собі нашу країну зараз. Сьогодні ж була доповідь віце-прем'єр-міністра Федорова. Є хороші результати. І саме це найголовніше для України. Мати щодня, щотижня результати для нашої держави і людей. Мати постійно нову підтримку для нашого захисту і мати більше можливостей, щоб наблизити мир. Україна в кожній ситуації має бути лідером, пропонувати рішення, пропонувати шляхи і направляти роботу так, щоб кожен партнер вигравав від співпраці з Україною. І ще одне. Я хочу сьогодні подякувати нашим українським правоохоронцям, зокрема Національній поліції, кожному і кожній, хто працює заради правопорядку в Україні. Майже щотижня у них є результати в протидії злочинності. І нещодавно мені доповідали по одній такій операції. З червня по жовтень поліція працювала, ліквідували 19 нарколабораторій. Обіг майже 350 мільйонів гривень на місяць. Це була значна міжрегіональна злочинна діяльність. Те саме стосується і протидії обігу зброї, незаконному обігу зброї та захисту наших людей від інших проявів злочинності. І дуже важливо, щоб інституції працювали заради внутрішньої безпеки в Україні. І я дякую всім, хто справді фаховий у цьому. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. Well, that's Zelensky's update for the day. Hey there, GG. Afternoon, K-Bell. one thing I'd like to go here and they're still talking about North Korea deploying troops to in Ukraine. They sent 1,500 troops according to CNN. Fox News is saying Biden's silent on Ukraine support, but Zelensky just said he talked to him yesterday. Or today, I mean. Well, yesterday for Ukraine. Still today for me, but stories about drones and Russia's again waving the nuclear saber. If you support Ukraine, we'll nuke you. Yeah, Trump-proof Ukraine aid. You can't Trump-proof anything because he doesn't care about rules. That's interesting. Russian blogger worries about pro-Ukraine fifth column. I don't want to watch Purple or Orange Man. Oh, War Gonzo. Fun. You can sometimes learn the truth from the unlikeliest sources. This is especially true of Putin's Russia, where I don't even want to attempt that. Yeah. Mendacity rules and veracity is despised. Okay. Consider Wargonzo one of many Russian military bloggers who shares Putin's propaganda. I don't care about his real name. Wargonzo's October 5th Telegram post is especially interesting in what it reveals about the real Russian attitude towards the Ukraine war. Against the backdrop of successful actions, the Russian troops against the backdrop of successful actions by Russian troops to achieve the goals of the invasion and destroy Ukrainian and Kurds. This is just reads like propaganda and it hurts my head. The Special Service of Ukraine have launched criminal activities to recruit citizens on the territory of the Russian Federation. That's funny. Russia's accusing Ukraine, I guess it's standard operating procedure. Russia's accusing Ukraine of doing what Russia is doing. One would expect nothing less from the Ukrainian security services. Really? The Hill? Okay. What's striking is Wargonzo's willingness to discuss these matters in public. The implication that Ukraine is creating a network of spies and saboteurs behind enemy lies is obvious. Everyone knows this anyway, and Wargonzo isn't spilling any beans, but there's more. When did we get into a TV infomercial for news? Oy. Under various moral, material, and other fictitious, plausible pretexts, ordinary citizens are being lured into the Ukrainian web. That's funny. Persuaded to hand over coordinates, photos. Excuse me. Oh, that sucked. Sorry about that. Persuading civilians to hand over photos, videos of arsenal storage bases, shells, fuel, so on and so forth. So basically, he's talking about Ukraine using Russian civilians to spy for them. And it's openly talking about it. And that's surprising. Okay. So basically, they're surprised that it's the Russian, war gonzo is giving backhanded acknowledgement of a Ukrainian's reach into Russia. Large numbers of Ukrainians live in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and the Far East, as well as in Kursk, Bryansk, Belgorod, and the Kuban provinces. It is likely that Ukrainian intelligence has appealed to them first, but presumably with some effect. I'm sorry, I can't do any more. This is just like spewing propaganda, and it's literally giving me a headache. Okay, so stay away from the hill. Getting into older stuff now, so nothing really new in the news sphere. Oh, that was supposed to be on the other screen. I never said I was a professional YouTuber. I'm just throwing together what I can, trying to get information out there. And the update for today about Russia's losses: another 1,530 casualties today, bringing the total up to about 675,800. Over 9,000 tanks, 18,000 APVs, 19,533 artillery systems, 1,232 MLRSs, same as yesterday, aircraft, helicopters, all same as yesterday. Another 48 UAVs taken out, another 93 vehicles taken out, and 2 special equipment. I talked about one of those in the update. They're talking about taking out a radar station. And it is what it is. I don't know when, at this point, I don't know when Russia's going to see that they can't lose any more people. Now that they have North Korea sending troops, they might be able to avoid a public mobilization in Russia. And that's the trigger, really. If Russia has to do a public mobilization instead of, having criminals and picking up protesters from the street and signing them up for the military, if they have to do more than that and actually draft people, that should be the straw that breaks the back of Russia. I think there's other factors that we won't hear about until they actually happen. Mykolaiivka air alert went active 14 minutes ago. And you're going to slowly see these work towards Odessa, Vinnytsia, Zhytomyr. Depending on what their targets are, Depends on how far west they'll go. We were talking 7 a.m. in Ukraine right now. So these are all been. You go to Poltava, their air alert has been going on for 6 hours and 24 minutes. So the whole night they're under air alert. And that's people going down. That means that whole region probably went down to the basement to sleep in the basement because you don't know. Sumy, 9 hours. Chernihiv, 8 hours. Kharkiv was only 3 hours and 15 minutes. Zaporizhia, obviously the red one, the brighter the red, the more recent the air alert. Cherkasky region, 7 hours. That's a long time to be under air alert. I wish this war would end so these people could get back to living a normal life. I don't know what else to say. I wish a lot of things, but I wish it didn't take me 5 months to get my dentures so that I can actually, not worry about, did I just, there's a lot of things I can wish for, but wish to win the Powerball or some crap. So anybody have anything interesting come up or want to ask any questions? Now's the time to do it. Oh, hold on. While you guys are doing that, so Alexander taught acrobatics to children for 12 years. Volunteer, went to the front where he lost his leg. And has returned to teaching acrobatics. Another speech from Zelensky that I didn't know about until now. Continuing the state initiative launched last year, which has already become a tradition. Oh, this is the award ceremony for troops of the ZCU. Asking for donations for a unit they're supporting. This Telegram channel supporting. Story of a guy that returned to Ukraine from Poland to serve his country. I'm not sure I can show that one. Russian forces executed a wounded soldier, Ukrainian soldier, in the Donetsk region. Let me take this off screen. Oh, no. You're supposed to go off screen. Okay, it's not even a video, it's just a picture. Germany has delivered a new aid package to Ukraine. 8 Leopard tanks, 20 Marauder IFVs, 4 MRAPs, 1 ISIS-T, short range And then ISIS-T long range with ammunition. 6 Panzerhaubitze 2000s. 30 vector reconnaissance drones. And 3,000 RGW anti-tank grenade launchers. Now there's a bunch of Russian tanks that are going to get blown up. Schultz putting the brakes on Ukraine's NATO invitation. Schultz referred again to the decisions of the most recent NATO summit in Washington. At the summit, supporters of Ukraine's quick invitation to NATO were unable to prevail against opponents such as the U.S. and Germany. Yeah, I don't really see us being part of NATO much longer if Trump gets in, so I don't think our opposition is going to matter. Flag for sale. Come on. Yeah, when I want it to open up on this screen, it doesn't, and when I don't want it to, it does. So that spread, it kind of makes me think it's a HIMARS strike. Oh, it says aviation. So apparently there was 2 platoons of Russians in that building. Ammunition depot in Bryansk. Before and after pictures. So it looks like a few bunkers are still intact. I'd like to see a wider shot of that. Apparently we haven't let Congress know that North Korea sent troops to Russia. Polish guy cycled 800 kilometers from Warsaw to Independence Square in Kyiv to support Ukrainian prisoners of war and raise funds for rehabilitation of those released. That was 18 hours on a train. I can't imagine how long that took. Oh, 7 days of travel. Can you imagine bicycling for a week? I saw a lot. I went to ballet, the opera, and several philharmonics, orchestras. I like the orchestra best. Let's see if I could zoom in on the see if I remember it correctly. Should be right here. Yeah, there we go. Philharmonic. Pull up their website. You know, beautiful acoustics in this room. But, you know, you're talking 300 hryvnia for 2 to 3 hour concert. Um, that's not even $10, and like that's the stage. So you can get pretty close to the stage, sixth row for 300 hryvnia, which is like 750 ish. Um, so the organ concert, musical performance for kids under 6 years old or 6 years old and up. Mozart. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not like a huge classical fanboy. Um, I cannot listen to classical music like on the radio or off of a record, but live, it's it's something totally out of this world that you just don't get. Um, so yeah, second row all the way on the side, 300 hryvnia, so like 750. Um, upper deck, in the balcony is $10. Um, 250. So what's that? $6. So yeah, you can't even get a Starbucks for $6 in the U.S. And here you can go for a 2 to 3 hour long concert for that. Um, the ballet show I went to was they had a classical ballet for the first show, and then they had an intermission, and then they had a modern ballet. I liked the classical ballet more because they had live music, not a recording. But if I like beer, I'm I'm a jeans t-shirt and swearing up and down the half of my conversation because I'm not a high crust, high society person. I'll put it that way. But it doesn't mean I don't enjoy beautiful things. And the Philharmonic was beautiful. Um, shoot, I think I closed the map. Uh, so let's see if I can find the Opera House. Ah, okay, I was looking in the wrong area. Uh, the Opera House. This place is gorgeous. Um, yes, I took a picture of that too. That's the chandelier in the middle of the that thing. Well, not that one in particular, but You know, the fountain was not running when I was there, but I sat on these benches and hung out in this area. And it was kind of funny, like on the balcony, like off over on this side, there was a giant candy cane sitting on the guy's balcony. So, uh, again, the opera. So, you know, tomorrow's opera. Uh, oh, ballet. Sorry. Uh, go English. So Saturday night opera. And I don't think there's any seats available. So it might be too soon, but so yeah, $10. And these are basically like the box seats. So a $10 ticket, you're in a box. Or you know, say you wanted a private booth. You know, those ones are 600 hryvnia, so $15 for a private box next to the stage. So I mean, it's and it doesn't want to load. Okay, but you can kind of sort of see the costumes, um, you know, synchronized dancing to singing in live orchestra music. Uh, and of course, the opera and the ballets are all done here in the that I went to, anyways. Um, the other, and you don't really need to spend money to go see pretty stuff in Kiev. I was hoping those were in the middle there. Uh, nice picture in winter, but you know, I was there in the spring and these trees were just, you know, that really light green color when the leaves first peak, and the sun was like shining down this middle part. Is freaking beautiful. And on both sides of you, you got traffic, the city, you know, all kinds of city life, and then you just got this beautiful little walkway right through the heart of the city. And that goes from basically the start of the Arts District and follows all the way up to here. I think they took it out. Yeah, I think they stopped the that middle sidewalk right here. But basically, walking right down the center of Old Town, Eve. Um, the other nice thing I like to do was oh, I'll search for it because I can't remember where it is on the map. Okay, there's get out of. There's this smaller botanical garden, and there's no entry fee or anything to walk around this place, but it is flipping gorgeous. Magnolia trees, birds, all kinds of other flowering trees. It's just they didn't have the fountains running when I was there. A couple different statues. Oh, and go back here. One thing I wanted to point out: no matter where you go in Kyiv, there's always benches to sit, relax. Let's go by the National Aviation University. And right down here. So, you got the bus stop benches. There's the underground to get over to the tramway. But there's always like little places just to sit down, relax. There's always these cool vendors. So I don't know if he'd be in this picture, but there was one of the guys that was set up right here when I was there was a beekeeper, and he'd come in on the weekends and sell his honey in that spot. Um, there is homelessness in Ukraine, but it's usually people that don't want a house. Give you an idea. Okay, this is the apartment I stayed in. This apartment here. See, is there a view there? You might be able to see it here. So this apartment building here was government housing. If you needed a place to live, that's the one of the houses the government gave to you. Same with this building. Those ones I know for sure. And then so, and I think this building here and this building here were also government housing. So if you didn't have a place, if you didn't own an apartment, you could request housing and get housing in buildings like these ones. Let's go here. So you can't really see it, but right through those trees, that entire building was for government apartments. Never seems to be the ones that like are on the street, but like the ones just off of the street tend to be. But so take you on my little walk for the day. That was the entrance to my building. Bench Another bench here. Did I go too far? Okay, another bench. So basically every entrance to these buildings has a bench in front of it. Yeah, there are exceptions to the rule, obviously. Okay, like this is the main entrance for this building here. And there's 4 benches sitting out front. Oh, no. I always thought this part was interesting because I look at this place a lot going, oh, I wish I was back there. But springtime, fall. Spring, fall. Like I said, this is the entrance to the apartment I was renting. And this is the grocery store. So my trip to the grocery store was literally coming downstairs, coming out the door, walking over here, going into this store, buying what I needed for, that meal or that day, heading back over and going back up the stairs. Um, I'll never be able to afford this, but I'll show you guys. Oh, see, Jotomir and Vistanzia are now under air alert. But let's go to Dimria. Now, if I hit like the Powerball or lottery or, a relative I didn't know that was rich died and gave me a bunch of money, this is a place I'd buy. I was just renting down here. So that'd be the view out my window, basically. And the layout of the apartment. This is considered a 3-room apartment. You have your entryway, bathroom, kitchen, like a living room, bedroom. This one's kind of in rough shape. Almost all the apartments have this herringbone wood floor. Ugly wallpaper on this one. The closets. Well, this is the kitchen. It basically got gutted. Tiles are falling down. The hot water heater. Bathroom, again, tiles falling down. And that's the entrance to the building. It's not in the greatest shape, but it's in a neighborhood I enjoy. So it's basically this building here, but on the other side. Right there's the Marshrutka stop. So, if I could afford this place, come out here, walk across the street, hop on the Marshrutka, and I could be anywhere in Kyiv within an hour. And place is 43,000. I really like that place. I wish I could. I mean, it doesn't, they aren't all bad setups. I don't like the pink. But, you know, nice kitchen. Nice bedroom, nice balcony off the bedroom. You know, lounge out on the balcony. But, you know, that's 56. So you can get a pretty nice apartment in Ukraine, in Kiev, for not too expensive. Like an apartment like this in New York City, you'd be talking a couple million. I'm not for sure on that, but it is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream here and say thank you everybody for coming. Have a good night and stay safe. And yes, the reason I'm ending is because I have to go to the bathroom and I don't want to pause the while I go to run to the restroom. So have a good night, everybody, and stay safe. Good night, everybody. Thanks again.